I'm Bob at ILikeToMakeStuff. You know when you start a new hobby, you buy the all-in-one kit. It's the basics of everything you need, but eventually you fall deeper into that hobby. You start upgrading pieces and customizing the setup, and eventually you may not be able to buy all the stuff that you want for your hobby. That's an opportunity to make something. To have healthy live plants, you have to have the right kind of light. But oftentimes when you have the right kind of light, you have a hard time covering the aquarium. Well, that's a problem for me because I've got 3 cats who try to get in here. I lose a lot of water to evaporation, and one of my fish jumped out the other day. And the worst part is I can't find a cover that goes over that light on that aquarium, so we're just gonna make one. There are some ways around this. You could buy a hood that has a light built into it, but usually those are not the quality lights that you would want if you have a planted aquarium. You could also put a piece of glass over the aquarium but underneath the light, but honestly that glass cuts out about 10% of the light that transmits through, and you need all of that light to have healthy plants. Now I totally understand that most of the people watching this are not actually into fish tanks, but this particular problem and solution, that's not the point. The point is, you may have things that you like to do, and maybe there's a problem with those things that you haven't been able to buy a solution for. You can build your own solution. All you have to do is think through what you're trying to accomplish and then take some measurements, start problem solving. That's what we're gonna do. First off, we're gonna take some measurements, then I'm gonna make a big list of all the things that I want this to do so we know exactly what we're building. I took all of the measurements, like everything about the light, everything about the aquarium, and everything about how they are in relation to each other because that needs to stay the same. But there's something else that's really important. In addition to all the measurements, all the specific stuff, I gotta decide what this thing needs to do. What am I trying to accomplish? One is I wanna keep as much water in the aquarium as possible. I also wanna keep as many fish in the aquarium as possible. So basically, I just need to have it covered. It's not gonna be airtight, it's not gonna stop all evaporation, but any cover will help that. I also want it to be easy to remove. I actually built a cover for this one time, and it was so tight that it was kind of a pain to remove just to feed the fish. Which brought up something else. I shouldn't have to take the entire top off to feed the fish, so it needs to have some sort of a door that can open just so I can feed them, and then I can close it back down. It's also gonna be surrounded by water and lots of humidity coming off the top of the tank. So no wood, anything like that. It needs to be all plastic. Great option there is 3D printing and or acrylic. So we can use acrylic sheets to make up the bulk of it and then maybe 3D print the pieces that attach them, or maybe how it interacts with the side of the tank. That's the next step to figure out. I actually already started on this project, and I wasn't gonna make a video about it, but I showed it on Instagram, and a lot of people wanted to see the process, so that's where we are. We're gonna completely start over with a fresh idea so that we can go through this together, and maybe it'll spark some inspiration for you to make a solution for a problem in your house. So as I'm starting to think through how I can put this together and what the pieces might be, I have to think about the place that it's going. It has to sit on top of the tank, but it also has to wrap over the side of the tank and around the light. I could easily just make a box that was bigger than the biggest dimension that kind of fit down over the top of it, but that's not gonna look good. But this thing's also kind of big, so if I try to make the sides too curvy, then I have a lot of really big curves I have to deal with. So I think probably the best approach is to come up with some sort of an end cap that can connect long, straight pieces of acrylic that are glued together. We can absolutely start figuring that design out on paper, but eventually, I'm gonna move to Fusion. I talk about Fusion all the time because it's the software that I know. We made a course to teach people how to use it, but really any 3D modeling software can make a huge impact on how you make things. And the biggest reason, to me, is because you can build something with no consequences. You can build it on the computer without ever having to buy a piece of material or cut a piece of material. There's no waste to it. And honestly, everything you try, even if it doesn't work, is a step towards something that will. This video is sponsored by Acorns. I don't know if you're like me, but I know investing is a smart thing to do. I know that it's a great way to plan for your future and prepare, but I've honestly just never really understood it, so I've not done very much of it. Until I got Acorns. Acorns is a fantastic app that's made specifically to help you save and invest your money in a smart way. And you don't have to have any expertise. You also don't have to put in a lot of money. In fact, they've got something called roundups, which will take the extra change off of your transactions and invest that for you, so you probably won't even notice it's gone. But you can also put in weekly or monthly investments of any amount, and that's just gonna add up over time. Once you install the Acorns app, you basically tell them how much risk you're willing to take, and then they will invest your money in a diversified portfolio based on that risk. You don't have to pick individual stocks, but you can if you want to. You can see about 9% of my investment is in stocks that I picked. and I'm letting them figure the rest out. One of the other things I really like about the app though is the Learning tab. Under this tab, there's tons of information, videos and articles for you and for your kids about how to manage your money, how to understand investing and savings. Plus, your Acorn subscriptions can include GoHenry, a debit card and learning app made just for kids. The whole idea of the Acorn is that it's something very small that eventually grows into something really big. The sooner you start putting money into investing, the more chance that money's gonna have to grow. Don't put it off. Hit the link down in the description or go to acorns.com/makestuff, download the app and get started. Big thanks to Acorns for sponsoring this video. Imagine this is the profile. It's pretty close. If I were to 3D print this entire thing, then having this curved piece here would not be a big deal. But the hood is 30 inches wide by almost 18 inches deep. So that is a huge print, even if you made it in multiple pieces. Plus, it would take a really long time to print something that big, and I don't really need to. So one alternative would be to print end cap pieces on each end that are connected to long, flat pieces of acrylic that run across the aquarium. Those can be glued together to hold the structure, but I won't have to do anything except cut them to size. Now, because acrylic is flexible with heat, I could make this curve with acrylic, but honestly, it's not really worth the effort. The first prototype is off the printer, and basically this is just to make sure that my idea is gonna work and to check my tolerances. I need to match those against the actual acrylic I'm gonna use. Now for this project, I bought a big sheet of black acrylic, and it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, but I did measure it with some calipers, and then I used those measurements to model this out. But tolerances are a really big deal. Just because you measure something and print something doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna fit together, so you have to test it. Okay, that actually fits really well, but there is a way to figure this out beforehand. Let me show you. If you 3D print things that fit around things in the real world, it's a really good idea to make a tolerance tester. Basically, I would just print one of these and keep it around all the time because it is very useful. You've got the same size hole with different amounts of tolerance added to it, and then something that fits in that hole, whether it's round or square. So as you decide how tightly you want two parts to fit together, you can start to fit these pieces in, and the more tolerance there is, the more gap there is. When you find one that you like, then that is the amount of tolerance that you need to add to your pieces. If you got a 3D printer, print one of these. It's super handy. So here's where we're at with the design. This section in the middle is open so that the light can fit in here and has room to slide back and forth so that I can get it placed correctly. I've got a lip along the bottom that'll sit on the outside of the aquarium, and I've got slots up here for 3 pieces of acrylic, one on the back, a big one on the top, and then one on the front. That sloped one on the front will hopefully hold a door so that I can feed the fish easily, but I haven't figured that out yet. But I gotta figure out how it's gonna attach to each other. On the back, we've got a 90-degree angle. Gluing those 2 pieces together across the back edge is not gonna be a big deal. But then up here, we have a really shallow angle, and I don't want there to be a gap, which means I have to go into Fusion, figure out what that angle is, and then add that bevel to the piece of acrylic on the table saw when I cut the pieces so that they match up here, and I've got an area that I can glue together. I've said this many times, but you can cut acrylic and plastics with a regular table saw blade, but it doesn't work great. If you can afford to get a dedicated plastics blade, it's made for plexiglass and plastics, this is the way to do it. It's much better cut, especially if you're doing something that's gonna have a finished edge exposed. I went ahead and cut the top and the back panels because they're straight, they're just gonna go together at a 90-degree angle. Should be pretty simple, but when I went to test fit them, I found a really tiny problem in this corner. One of the little things about 3D printing is when you print an inside corner like this, it's often rounded over. So if you have a sharp corner that you need to fit into that little corner, you're gonna have to make allowance for it in the model so that it's printed around the area that needs to be filled. This is pretty easy. I'm just gonna go back in and make that space a little bit bigger in the corner. You won't ever see it, but it'll allow for the 2 pieces to meet up at a 90-degree angle. I made those changes and printed out a version and then realized that it actually needs a lot more changes. So I made another version, and once I make sure that this actually fits, I'll show you what I changed. Okay, that thing actually fits really well, which tells me that this is probably the last version of the end cap. It probably doesn't look a whole lot different to you, but I did make several changes. One thing was I decided where to put the light, and instead of having a big open section, I made it just big enough to fit the light so that light didn't spill down underneath this unsupported edge. So we have to first talk about why I went with 3D printing in the first place. The majority of the surfaces on this project are gonna be flat. They're gonna be long pieces of acrylic running all the way across it, but they have to intersect with the outside edges, which are perpendicular. They need to be captured in those end caps, which led me to this idea basically because of its dimensionality. I mean, look at all the different surfaces here. You've got the outside surface, you've got the surface at the bottom of this channel, you've got this surface right here, which is for support, this one right here, which is gonna sit on the aquarium, this one which touches the outside of the light, and all of these are some equivalent of 1/8 of an inch difference between them. Now 3D printing is a perfect solution for that because you can model it and create all of those different dimensions and then print out one object that has them all included. That's certainly not the only way to do it. You could do this exact same thing with pieces of acrylic. But this approach has pros and cons, and honestly it would be done a little bit differently. The cons would be that you'd have to cut all these individual pieces out precisely. And even if you did them on a laser, you'd still have to line them up to glue them together. And the pro there would be that you could do it differently. They wouldn't have to fit into a groove. They could just butt join on top of each other, which might make it easier to put together. Another pro of using all acrylic would be, it'd be the same material. You would have the same surface finish across all the different faces of the thing, and it would look probably a little bit more professional. But in my case, even if I print this in black, the black here is gonna be a little bit different of a finish than the black of the acrylic. For me personally, that's not a big deal, but depending on how visible this thing is, that could be an issue. From my personal experience of gluing together pieces of acrylic, it can be messy, can be imprecise, or maybe I'm just not good at it, but I think for now, I'm gonna stick with this. If you're gonna make something like this though, you definitely have options. So that's decided. I need to cut a little strip here for the front and then this long piece to go along the slant, and that's gonna have that bevel on it. I say it a lot, but one of the awesome things about 3D modeling your projects is that you can go in and measure pieces. You can figure out angles. And all I did here was click on an angle and see what that number is, and now I can set the saw to match it. Now making that angle cut was not really a big deal, and it actually worked out perfectly fine. Basically on the back of the aquarium, there's some hoses that come out for the filter, and I need to cut a little slot here so that those can go underneath the back of the hood. In addition to that, I need to make a door. I've got to be able to feed the fish somehow, and I honestly still haven't decided exactly how to make that door and the best way to do it. I have one idea, but I'm not sure about it. So the idea that I've been working on so far is basically hinging it, and that's because I have these acrylic hinges. These are completely made out of acrylic. They don't even have holes in them. The cool thing about this is that you can actually glue these to the other acrylic pieces with acrylic cement, and it's just all connected. You don't have to worry about drilling holes and running screws and putting on nuts and any of that type of stuff. You can just kind of glue them together. These are really cool, and I found them in black. If I want to put a door right here, that means that I have to put the hinge on top of both of these, connecting the two pieces. But then that means there's got to be a little bit of space around the door so it can open and close. And if there's nothing there to catch it, it's going to fall inward. So really, the door needs to be sitting on top of the surface that it's covering. But as soon as you do that, then they're not coplanar. Then the hinge actually won't be able to sit across this joint. So it doesn't actually work. And then it dawned on me that I just skipped over the simple solution and started looking for harder things to do. The simple solution is a spacer. I mean, it's like so simple that you're probably going, yeah, duh, Bob, that's what we thought of. But basically, if I have a hole right here, I'm gonna put a door over top of that hole, and then the hinge will go up here. All I have to do is add another spacer under the backside of the hinge. That's the same thickness as the door. It's all the same material. You won't see it, and it'll work great. The spacer idea will totally work, but it's actually gonna put the door and the hinge and everything well on top of the surface here. It would all sit up here above this edge. If I cut the door out of the face, there's nothing to stop it from falling through. So now, if we cut out this section right here, that is the door, and it's free floating in the opening. We can put the hinges directly on top of those two surfaces so that they hold it together, and then we just use some other pieces, some scrap, to create a little lip on the inside. That'll stop the light from leaking out, and it'll stop the door from falling in. That is the solution. The door's cut, laid in place, the hinges are in place, but now I have to fix them together. I'm gonna use some acrylic cement for that. And I actually use a needle because this stuff is so thin, it's like thinner than water. You have to just barely put it on the surfaces that you need to join together. This process takes a little bit of patience. You don't wanna overdo it because anything that gets on top of the surface of the acrylic will change the finish. So you only wanna use as much as absolutely necessary. It also only takes that stuff a split second to cure up, and now we have a working door. I just figured out a little tip I wanted to share with you. If this has liquid in it and you tilt it over, it immediately goes and starts to drip out of the end of it. That's bad because it puts way more on the surface than what you actually want. You just want barely any liquid to seep into the joints. So what I figured out is that you squeeze this, blow some air out of it, and then as you're letting go, it's drawing air in, and that's the same time that you lay it over, and then it doesn't bubble out until you want it to. All right, this was definitely the hardest part. I think the rest of it is just sticking it together with the final prints, adding some glue on the seams, and this thing will be done. No matter what your hobbies are, I encourage you to look for gaps, look for problems that need solving, and then try to make a solution. It's gonna make that hobby more enjoyable for you, but also you have an opportunity to help other people who are into the same stuff. I'm really grateful to the people on Instagram who convinced me to make a video about this project because honestly, the end result is better because I decided to show you how I was gonna do it. And of course, I've already got some ideas of how to make this thing better, so follow me over on Instagram and I'll give you some updates. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Now it's time for bloopers. There's a bunch of hoses. Hoses? Now at a point, blow air out of it, then turn it over. Except that my battery's dead. Okay, that should help stop some of, wow, I ran out of breath. All right.